Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, host Imperial Lane. The one and only master propaganda heroes like defender of the fatherland, off here to the last match of the old patch. As we head into the next one, which should be up after this one. Obviously, by the time this video's up, the patch is already out, but I do like to buffer up so, I make sure, I have some time to find something decent. So, anyways, we're off here. In the north it is Makros fighting for the British Empire, the Commonwealth here with the Glorious. First Armour Division, we got Canadian Shock, the Armour and Australian Defence. In the south it is Treadz. Here with the Deutsches Afrika and the German Army. Pulling ahead here with the 90th Panzerjaeger Division with Panzerjaeger Armoured Support and Italian Combined Arms. As always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters for the continued generous and heroic support of the Propagandacast. Keeps making all these videos possible. And a big thanks to keep commenting and liking on them. Helps out immensely with the YouTube algorithm, splitting up the video further. So, double Sabbers Dingo here versus double Panzer Pioneer Bike and a half-track here out of Treadz. West side here, poking about here about these with the Dingo and the Sappers. My apologies. Bit of a rough night's sleep, including getting cramps in both of my legs. Yes, it's about as exciting as it sounds. Panzer Pioneer grabbing that son of a bitch one back quickly, looking to escape the wrath of the Dingo. Jürgen, drive faster! Drive faster! I am! I can't drive any faster than this thing. It's a bike. Not exactly on open road. Gotta have to run here, the Treadz help fight against the Dingo. It's going to be two light vehicles as the Dingo. Punch being also popping into the half-track for a bit of protection. Start punch moving forwards. Second half-track for Treadz here. Has me thinking he could kind of go for the 250-9 here. In which case, we're light looking at armoured support units that really the battle group that actually synergizes with it by allowing the cracked machine guns on them to perform better. So, it seems like a possibility out of Treadz, but we'll of course have to see if that's actually what will happen. I mean, it's one way thing to expect it, is another thing for it to actually happen. Meanwhile, west side Makros and Treadz about here. First section out here for Makros and the glorious British Empire. There you go, pushing forward against the Dingo, grabbing that victory point. Section here for the half track. Into the half track, another section with for Makros. Half track withdrawing.
Point is being overrun.
On the west side here we've got Panzer attack with the Sappers, quick pulling in there. So you have two half tracks out for Treadz. Now the question of course is, what next? It does seem for me now, Treadz got some initiative here, gaining a bit of tempo with the two mechanized units here, forcing away the Sappers. Light support company in the way, the anti-tank grenades, grenades from Makros, but no sign yet of a battle group he may want to go for. Also note the way he's pushing forward, see, bring up two forces here, but also lightly, note the way he's moving up out of the section, he's clearly anticipating the half is going to go down here, so he's hoping just like catch and retreat as well there. And maybe have like grenades ready by the time. Probably won't happen, but I like the idea here. Very well sort of push. We also see Treadz, I think, is catching on here.
Enemy control.
We can also see where that's going now. Only works some. Oh. You get the idea, yeah. See, we half track's only caught in a bad spot. Didn't necessarily need a section here, but of course make sure. And even then, turns out I can then actually use it to catch the half track trying to assist the first one here. So, really rough going in for Treadz, about to lose both of his half tracks. Got some Panzerjaegers up. This is a massive hit here to Treadz in the early game, since that's about 500 or so manpower. It would take probably 520, 540 manpower straight down the toilet there. So, big loss there for Treadz. It certainly highlights why you typically don't see that heavy commitment from the DAK on half tracks against the Brits, because they can very quickly make short work of them. If you're not careful. Another section here for Makros. We do get fast bottom here for Treadz, but yeah, really rough start here for him. But he's does, at least for the time being, have some decent map control. He does have the victory point lead, but as a whole, this is not exactly encouraging for them. Because those half tracks, well, they certainly help push map control. Really didn't get you a lot of damage here versus Makros' infantry, or that matter, Dingo. Your Panzer's going for the Dingo, and again, seems like just increasingly people are just going for early Panzerjaegers to counter the Dingoes. That's probably your best bet for dealing with it. Of course, this is where having it in the half track would have been helpful for Treadz, but, you know, they got blown up elsewhere. Think about with the Panzer in the Flammenwerfer. Panzerjaeger's part of the section. Getting a bit rough here for Treadz. We got the platoon command on way for Makros. Treadz here. Lightly aiming for the flak filling half track, but still in the fuel to get there. When things going as they are, Treadz isn't going to be going for that right away, particularly with the cutoff point there being hit. A masterful stroke there by Makros and the British Empire. Panzerjaeger's moving forward here with their anti-tank rifles. And there we go, heavy armor up for Makros. In the end, not much of a surprise there. Admittedly, none of the three battle groups really would have been a surprise. They are pretty much like the best three British battle groups at the moment.
We're losing a munitions point.
There goes soldiers for Treadz. Obviously need to, like, you know, get back some control here against Makros as fast as possible. Flak feeling half track on the way. And we got Makros pushing in for the short light tanks, and obviously the Humber's going to strike a lot more than X-Tank up to the field, and like potential flak feeling half tracks. The Steward is a better pick here out of Makros. Cancels it. He actually does go for the Humber, much to my surprise. I mean, can make it work, but it's definitely much more risky, so I think in this regard, Makros is probably just relying on the momentum he gained from breaking those two 250s, like just hope he can get away with it. And maybe he can, but it definitely feels like it is pretty risky versus Treadz. Then again, what also encouraged him is the fact he saw the assault grenades in the half track, meaning he knows his opponent can't call in a second Panzerjaeger squad. So, might also play a role there, but I'll wait. Humber armored car there. Got a point from Fenton. We got who flame frag, we got the flak field arriving. Makros, of course, getting his chaps out before we get turned into mincemeat. Humber's moving westwards here. Half track in trouble. Damage engine. Humber the striking. Assault guns popping out. That's the third half track going for Treadz base. This one is a bit less expensive because it basically came for free with the assault grenadiers. So less painful here for Treadz, but there's still a third half track down and doesn't really make up for the loss of the other two half tracks. Running up eventually for Panzerjaeger here with the Raketen Panzerbüchse. Section move out there. Note that German Panzerjaeger typically operated by specialized anti-tank teams, was the Panzerzerstörer. My understanding there was 2 Panzerjägers per team of 4, but then the other 2 acting shells are supporting loaders for it, because it's actually a 2-man task operating the Panzerjaeger. One firing and then the other guy reloading it. Which amongst other things actually includes connecting a little wire at the back of the rocket, or the back of the Panzerjaeger to the rocket, so that way you can fire it, because active fire works by a little electrical charge firing off the rocket. So, little fun fact there. Typically something a lot of the video games kind of gloss over. So, fun little fact there.
Landmine.
40 goes to 500. So far, the Treadz does have a good victory point lead. He's still managing map control fairly well, but still lost 3 250 half.
Territory lost.
There you go, bike being sent upon you by the Humber armored car. Got one Panzerjaeger team here ready for Treadz. Section around it, send packing, Panzer Pioneer busy up in the east. 31 versus 500. Try and go for the cutoff, and we got a 6-pounder gun. He's flak filling half tick. Comes scrap. There you go, direct hit here from the 6-pounder gun. Flak filling crew panicking, withdrawing here. But Humber still gets shredded by the Panzerjaegers. Mine goes off, they're hitting the Panzerzerstörer. Panic and fire their Panzerjaeger in nearby sections at the Dingo. Saving here Makros' cutoff point from being defiled by German hands and cut off. Back at base here, nothing else happening for Treadz. Oh, there we go, we get the mechanized company with the flak feeling half there. Typically a bit less of a common combo. Typically You either go for fire support elements and then you check for the Panzer Army Commando,
We're losing a
or
victory
you got
point.
Mechanized Company there for the stuff there, and then maybe eventually go for the Panzer Army. But here, Treadz actually, like, goes for both fire support elements and Mechanized Companies. That is an interesting choice here. Much rarer. West side finally got the Humber here, underestimating Treadz Panzerjaegers. Treadz was able to pierce and perforate the armored counterlock when kaboom. And Treadz now continues to surprise here by going for a second flak-filling half-track. An interesting choice. Don't need both, though I do see the logic in it. But actually, cancel the mechanized company.
Infantry section is ready for battle.
So, interesting choice there. That's also pretty rare, by the way, to see a player of DAK, go for double flak feelings like that. Quite rare too. So, not sure I'd recommend that one either, but I can see the logic in it. By the way, taking flak feeling half Treadz, setting riding Treadz with a lot more mobile firepower now rather than later. 174 versus 500. Left here with heavy automatic fire there. The auto cannons letting loose.
6-pounder deploying. We'll cover here. We need space. 6-pounder waiting on you, sir.
Got the thing rolling in.
The beggars are threatening a fuel
Panzering net
point.
with a section there. Panzerjaeger, I need to withdraw them before they get wiped out. Flak rolling ahead here.
We have a surplus
Shredding the
of
dingo,
half-points,
and also taking the flank here with the 6-pounder gun, cooking a bit ugly here for Makros. We lose that 6-pounder gun here to the Germans. That'd be a pretty big move there for Treadz. Need to get the other half-track in there as well there. Suddenly catching here in a bit of a pinch of that set. The flank filling here is messing up it. We have the improvement to survivability. Soldiers quickly wiped out. Got the 6-pounder. We can take out the dingo here. Dingo's about to go kablamo as well. Here's section recruiting, but
Dingo recon vehicle.
almost got the flak feeling, but he's about to clear out the 6-pounder with the other one. No! Didn't move it. He thought he could fire faster than that.
The enemy is pushing hard. We're down to 250
But
points.
6-pounder gun could still be gained here by Treadz, which would make up for the loss of the flak filling half-track if he's
Light
fast
vehicles
enough.
can be withdrawn
Now
from
the Humber
battlefield
for
on your word.
Makros. Interesting choice here, all things considered. Not entirely sure to go for another Humber here. He actually is destroying it. I mean, if he feels like he can't grab it before it gets destroyed, I guess that's a fair enough move, but I do think for Treadz, he probably should have tried to at least, use the anti-tank gun rather than, wreck it.
Humber armored car ready for reconnaissance.
And then I guess he tried, but then forgot there's actually a mine laid down there by his opponent, which then sets off the anti-tank gun.
Royal Engineers.
Which does remind me of Coh3, where it's actually a trick was to actually lay down a mine underneath an anti-tank gun, because that way you could see that blow up the anti-tank gun and the guys trying to crew it at the same time. Of course, back then, guns will take damage no matter what. You can actually destroy the gun if the opponent feels like prepare it properly. In particular, using the larger anti-tank guns of some of the USF and the M8 Greyhound was a particularly devastating
You have
tactic.
3 command points available.
Anyways, almost got a section here. Big hit there for Treadz. Almost got the second Humber, which again does beg the question of taking go for it. And there you go. Utterly shredded. Fresh minds here from Makros, though, found something at least.
Humber armored car.
Even if again, I would argue that second Humber
Anti-tank
was
weapon
definitely
and crew on
not
the field.
the right choice. Still, right now, Makros against Treadz. Definitely trying to leverage things like better map control versus better map control, tech, which can then of course become better map control versus opponent. And now he has
Enemy
gone for
is
the
trying to
Mechanized
take a point
Company.
from us.
I have absolutely no idea what Treadz is doing. I suspect that might be part of the trick. He's trying to keep his opponent confused as well.
We've lost
Now the
sector.
Mechanized Assault Group here. Treadz looking to fill the ranks up here with assault weapon.
Supplies aren't making it back to HQ.
Got a funding hit there. Treadz getting back into the fight here with a vengeance.
We've lost a sector
So
to the
got
enemy.
victory point lead, but it's also not time to overtake his opponent in terms of casualties. That is, inflicting them rather than suffering them. At which point, I mean, he was definitely overtaking his opponent casualties almost from the beginning. Another half track down. Got that flak filling half track just doing Immense work there onto Makros' infantry. Forgot to get back the cutoff point. He's playing something else to grab it.
The enemy has claimed a
And
sector.
the Panzerjaeger team there hits a mine, losing Rudolf Heinz.
Territory lost.
Stug 3D on the way for Treadz, bringing something armored against his opponent. Now the 6-pounder gunner for Makros will replace the one he lost here to those bloody Germans. Mines prepared for Treadz, thumbs up. We got some S-mines here being quickly dug in, or apparently welded in.
Fuel point to enemy action.
Because, you know,
We've
that
lost the
makes a ton of
sector.
sense. Jürgen, why welding? I just need to look busy, really. East side section pushed back. They Stug 3D almost done here for Treadz. Mines to save. Oh! So, welder doing a bit of damage. Soldiers like thing hafting on the way.
Stand by for orders.
Stug D on the way there for Treadz. The Sturmgeschoss 3 Ausführung D.
The enemy has claimed a sector.
216 versus 173.
We're losing a capture point. We're losing a
Blasting the
victory
section
point.
there. Shot bounced.
Rolling our training to all weapon teams.
Soldiers for the flank up northeast. Here we got bikes and assault moving
The
forwards.
enemy has our victory
And
point
a
now.
team weapon training upgrade there for Makros' forces, making these entertainers even more nasty and menacing. Second scores a great hit on the Stug's flank though. And there you go. Got the sticky bomb off. Engine blown out there. Nicely done there. Makros punching on the flank here. Very much fun the entire thing going pear-shaped for them. And excellent wipe hit for Makros. Also trying to go in for the flank here, returning some damage there. Getting a bit messy here though for Treadz, but so is his assault grenades as well there. With little to show for. What will be next for Treadz? Now the Stug D. Something else is planning
We're down
here.
to 200 points.
Makros, of course, at this point could consider taking out, but then he wants us, of course, another matter entirely. There you go. Akra now for Treadz. So not more Stugs, and for some reason didn't go back to base for repairs, or just sneak out mid-shoot. Seems like a question call there by Treadz. Could have been a misclick. Not impossible. Never know. But either way, it almost cost him the Stug, which is definitely not ideal. Now the issue I think Treadz is having is he's got no real healing for his infantry. It's hardly ideal either, because he does have a fair amount like assault troops and such. So
We're losing a munitions point to enemy action.
I think Treadz in the near future really wants to look into getting an ambulance.
Infantry attacking! Spread out! Orders complete!
Just pray that he doesn't lose it faster than his half track so far.
We've got enemy fire!
The assault grenades in the head finally got the Bren section that he used there. Expand withdrawing. Quick counter-attack here, try and cover up things in the east, but it's a bit half-assed here at Treadz. Mix of this and that, and again, including some heavily wounded units that could just bleed manpower for Treadz here. Not really doing much. I do really think an ambulance needs to be a priority soon for him. Could end up setting up a bunch of manpower. We got butterfly bombs here being unleashed. East side back being hunted down by a plucky section, and there you go. Combining the butterfly bombs to the push, I think it's a smart move by Treadz, as his opponents can be focused trying to dodge the butterfly bombs, and that can allow him to get closer to the units in question with his armored cars to get out of the way. Not a bad move at all. In fact, pretty smart there, I think. Thumbs up to Treadz, though. Problem is, he's definitely already seeing some losses in his infantry. Grenade assault here. Quick catch on these to try to get out of the situation. Very nice work here. Punt's been able to get wiped, though. Ah, no! Misclick here, cost him the assault grenadiers on the gun, and he's about to lose his Panzer pine as well. Massive blow there to Treadz. Like, even he got both anti-tank guns, so it's going to be much difficult to do anything with them now, plus his other troops are getting low health. And this ended up being a pretty bad push for Treadz, costing, I think, a lot more than it ends up necessarily being worth. He's trying to just deal with the section as well. Makros almost done with his tech here. lost losing the Panzer Pioneers, of course, he also lost his remaining infantry repair stuff, and he lost the Panzerjaegers. He's about to lose both of them at this rate. And we got a Crusader tank inbound, and Treadz just has very little to counter it. These are butterfly bombs. I hope in here he is to some extent shredding Makros, leading him with manpower. The problem is just, it's just not looking great here for him either.
Standing by, Commander.
Panzerjaeger team, and that'll have to be upgraded with a Panzerjaeger, and yeah, he needs a lot of stuff right now. Definitely need to destroy these anti-tank guns. I mean, obviously we're trying to crew them, but the problem is at this point with what? With what?
A-15 Crusader is on station.
And at this point, he may need to just consider researching self-repair, which is like he will, but he needs it faster because he's got so much he needs repairs. There you go, Crusader tank moving in. Got the arc guard. The upgrading is... Nope, they're not getting Panzerjaegers. 6 funding gun remaining, defiant in the face of German firepower. Cut-off funding struck here. And Treadz just lacks the force to really defend this cut-off point. The Stu-D is up to so much Crusader on the flank, and we got troops moving in as well. Here, Treadz situation is just falling apart here. And the exponential pace here. Lost the Panzerjaeger team as well there. And his assault is like Treadz has got next to nothing left now. He did at least destroy both anti-tank guns, but at this point one does have to very loudly ask a question at what cost. Because now he has no infantry left. None whatsoever. He's still in the fight, he still has a big victory point, so he's plays his cards more smartly than he's been playing his infantry at this point. He might still have a chance to win this, but he needs to, you know, start thinking some of this stuff a bit more through, because it feels like he's just committing to a lot of bad engagement at times, which ends up costing him so much for not enough of it to show for it. Especially when he's got nowhere repairing his Stu-D, for example, or his ace flat feeling half-track. Complete lack of ability to repair his vehicles right now, I think, is a major issue for Treadz. So 175 is 133. Second martyr here for Treadz, and there you go, Panzer Pioneers on the way, finally. Feeling half-track, he needs some repairs. Change some remaining butterfly bombs. Now the Crusader ready.
Then it's next.
Bring up Crusaders in various directions.
Armored vehicles are receiving frontline training.
And we got armored vehicle training here. Another problem there for Treadz in the longer run. Stu-D fund receiving some repairs. Flat filling calls need repairs as well. Definitely a pretty messy spot to be in for Treadz.
Crusader gassed and good to go.
Commander,
Take
our
it.
tankers have finished
Got
their
the training
drills
ready.
and
Crusader hits
promote
Veterancy
to
2.
Everybody needs cover, even us.
135 to 374. Oh, it's taking slowly. Stu-D still need repairs. Guess he might try and, you know, multitask by having the Stu-D being repaired on the victory point, like to grab it while repairing it, but he needs to make sure it's properly supported, obviously.
Got anything left to greet him, bro? That might laid and covered. They will respect.
More Panzer Pioneers on the way. Definitely very necessary here for Treadz. Seeding you so, crashing the walls here to make it easier to defend the area here.
Tommies has been trained.
Anti-tanks move here. Force out in the open, going straight for it. Nice shooting there from the Stu-D, but still suffers the Indian damage. And there, good Crusader was the two martyrs. First one hits, second one misses. 175 to 326, the clock is ticking. Cancels it for Stefan MD-34. I mean, I kind of assemble the infantry part, but I think more Panzer pioneers just to repair stuff faster, more consistently, would be very good investment for Treadz. Truth be told. It continues to think remain a very messy spot here for Treadz to be in.
The Huns have 300 points at the moment.
Fucking mines! Job for us. I'll do it now in a minute. Starting to work.
Derolling in, finally spotting some awful butterfly bombs. Have to guess someone, you know, an officer more likely, you know, got their feet hurt by it.
We've lost a sector to the enemy.
Sam was there finding another mine exploding right next to the Stutti goes at it. Picks up the flak filling, getting cut up on back, Marder on the way here. Treadz slowly getting to life again, he after again suffering rather heavy and devastating losses that really just throw out so many crucial components of his force here, making it very difficult to operate. Third Marder, I'm really concerned, of course, about the Crusaders. We probably shouldn't forget about the infantry. Just saying.
Forward! Victory point under enemy control.
Finally getting a victory point back here. 250 half-tick just hanging back here. Going in with the Stutti first, Marder supporting it, 6 Crusaders on the flank here. Going in with the Marders, firing their Pak 36Rs. Got the Crusader there. Marders score a glorious hit there for Deutschland with their converted Soviet entertainments. It is a fun fact, once the British first encountered these guns, they actually thought the Germans managed to self-propel, like you put a Flak 36, and it's the Flak 88, and on a sort of chassis for, like, you know, mobile action.
Has been made
A bit
available
terrified.
to serve.
Little fun fact there. We got more sort grenades out here for Treadz, definitely just slowly chucking along there.
Anti-tank
Still has a
weapons
victory
and
point.
crew
Needham gets that, he
on
can
the
still start bleeding out his opponent again.
Sappers on site. What do you
And
need?
a 17-pounder
We're
gun
losing
here.
a victory point.
I mean, that's an opponent with a lot of, like, you know, particular casemates. Well, it's just a lot of vehicles, a bit of armor. This could be potentially very
Enemy
good,
has our victory points now.
especially since Treadz doesn't have, like, any artillery or a lot of infantry to really punish this. So, the 17-pounder gun ends up being, I think, potentially very good counter against what Treadz is doing here from Makros' side.
Ready to lead the charge.
So he's just waiting around there. I think he's just waiting for the right time to, like, just go up behind his opponent and start hitting the rear there. 17-pounder gun to inch forwards here. Almost had it there. Really close call. And another machine gun there for Treadz. Another machine gun Gewehr 480. Oh, got the 250 half hit there. He's just, I think, attacking ground at home to get lucky at this point. Of course, when he sees something, he's definitely going to go at it. And there you go. Got the designate target ability activated there, I believe. Of course, makes it even more effective for Makros. And things even tougher for Treadz. 175 to 4. Treadz back to slowly bleeding out there. And he could try swinging westwards, at least briefly, to make some gains there. I mean, he could theoretically, like, catch the Crusader tank off guard with a big, bold Marder push here. If he wants to. So far, Treadz does not seem to be wildly concerned with that. Maybe, of course, he doesn't know the Crusader's there, but does not. And there you go, Marder's on the move. Not in time to save the 250 half to get soldiers. They're just running in panic. Small British force run. We also got the anti-tank section, of course, going to make it hard here for Treadz to use his March without risking losing them in the process of trying to take the Crusader.
Victory point under enemy control.
A flak filling on the move as well now. Crusader's already getting out of there. Smart movement. Makros opting anticipating the March will eventually arrive. Grenade assault here. 175 and 89. Mine's being dealt with there. Up east up the Stutti, more sort goes over Treadz. Entry's being met out in the open with MD-34 fire. West side Mars move 172 to 189. 169 189.
I'll be a Black Prince.
And a Black Prince out here for Makros. That's going to be a headache and a half here for Treadz Martyrs. I mean, theoretically, the attack from the right angle, they could deal with it, but also could very much just shut down Treadz entirely alongside the 17-pounder gun. Stu either bar weight, static, right on the 17-pounder gun, need to get out of there fast, which means it's also activate the ability and then get moving. Put the plunge smoke as well there. Feeling hafty the next target they're being hit.
Threatening a munitions point.
163 189. Bring in the Martyrs here. Not get away, I think, from the Black Prince. Going for that Crusader tank. And loses another assault gun squad. Massive losses from Treadz again here.
Enemy ground forces have claimed
Being
the
slightly
sector.
cornered here by Makros now in the British Empire. His options are starting to get rapidly limited. Let's see here on Twitter how he could like this way. Turn things around. Well, he's definitely aware of the Black Prince now, as he should be. He's being mauled. Got the March going for the Crusader tank here. Damn his engine. Got the Crusader though.
No contact.
Small winning for Treadz, but you lost
Enemy
a
pushing
Martyr
the
here to the
line,
exact right
trying
for
to take
something.
one of our points.
Actually was, might have been a mine.
Good lord, we've just
Maybe it was
lost
the Black
our
Prince that
TF
scored a shot
truck.
there from... What was the 17-pounder gun? Knocking out another Martyr. Yeah, but this Treadz is now definitely toast here. No way you can salvage this now. No way. Knock back down. And there you go, Treadz renders GG. Game over. I think in terms of close match, but Treadz, I think, insistent for some of that previous engagement as a 200 tankers at the northeast corner of the map really proved to be so painful for him. It put him into a position where he really struggled to recover from, and even then, I'm not entirely sure he chose the right path to recovery there. I think he had the shot, but just didn't quite manage it well enough, and this allowed just Makros to just completely suffocate him towards the end of the match. So, there you go, hope you enjoyed this match, and hope to see you all tomorrow with something interesting and fun from the new patch. So, cheers everyone, and see you all there. Bye!